The South Tianmen Plan is to launch a massive array of space-based weapons that are invincible. Reynolds traveled through the world of pirates and became an emperor of a country. Bind the super weapon system and start with mechanical fruits. Mechanical fruit, capable of controlling all metals and manufacturing various weapons. Terminator, drone swarm, aerospace carriers, intercontinental missiles, electromagnetic guns, laser guns, nuclear bombs, space-based weapons. Reynold became the world's strongest weapon king, surpassing the 4 emperors. The 5 old stars were envious of Reynolds' weapon and sent a large army to seize it. Laser cannons descended from the sky, annihilating the enemy thousands of kilometers away. The general led the attack of the Demon Slaying Order, and the aircraft carrier launched nuclear missiles, instantly annihilating the Demon Slaying Order.Kai Duo, can your dragon breath destroy heaven and earth? Let's learn about electromagnetic cannons. Yellow ape, are you faster than light? Laser cannons are the true speed of light. Imm, do you have a king? A 100 million ton nuclear bomb was launched, and one shot flattened Maria.The Terminator army is gathering, the sky and sky carriers are blocking the sun, nuclear bombs and artillery are firing at once, and there are also space-based weapons. Reynolds ascended to the throne of the world and ruled the world. Super refreshing article, Invincible Flow, Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Using rocket launchers in One Piece world, instantly exceeding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the year 1519 of the Heian era, the Great Voyage, the New World, was an empty and uninhabited sea. The sky is sunny, and the sunlight sprinkles on the sea, creating sparkling flashes like sparkling water pearls. A huge, serpentine sea king with a lion's head broke through the water and made a huge roll in mid-air, leaping back into the sea and creating huge waves. Not far away, 3 pirate ships with the same flag were sailing towards the water, with a black bear head on the flag and 2 crossed skull swords behind it. If there are familiar people here, they can definitely recognize that this is the flag of the Pirates of the Bears. The Sea Kings in the New World are indeed quite large, much larger than the Sea Kings in the first half of the Vita route. That's right, the New World is a field that only strong people can step into. In a year of sailing, how many pirate groups collapse in the amusement park, and how many pirates die at the bottom of the sea, only we live to rush into a new world. All of this is thanks to Captain Bryce. A few pirates stood on the side of the ship, watching the Sea Kings ahead chatter incessantly, flattering Captain Bryce. Captain, when are we going to challenge the throne of the 4th Emperor? I can't wait anymore. A pirate carrying a large knife turned his head to look at the tall man sitting on the deck. He saw that the man was almost 2.5 meters tall, and if he stood up, he would be over 5 meters tall, resembling a small giant. He is the captain of the Bull Bear Pirates, Bull Bear Bryce, one of this year's supernova pirates, with a bounty of 198 million pele. Yes, Captain. When are we going to challenge the 4th Emperor? My big sword is already hungry and thirsty. I don't know if the 4th Emperor Pirates team is as strong as rumored. I must try their strength. Wait a minute, our Pirates of the Bears group will soon become famous around the world. Many pirates speak one word at a time, their voice is noisy, full of anticipation for the future, and their fighting spirit high. Bryce drank a bottle of rum and laughed heartily. Don't worry, little ones. We're still far from the territory of the 4th Emperor. The top priority is to establish our reputation as the Pirates of the Bears in the New World. Coincidentally, our money has already been spent. Let's go to the next destination country and plunder it. Oh! A group of pirates cheered loudly. They are pirates who are best at killing people, setting fires, and looting treasures. There is nothing that can make their blood boil more than killing and robbing money. I heard that countries in the New World are all very wealthy, so this time we must make a big profit. A pirate grinned grimly and said, "When I have money, I'll invite you to the flower street and I'll pay for all the expenses. Can I order 3 at the same time?" "What's 3? At least 5 are needed." "Then I need 10. Can you bear 10 of them? Don't end up half dead in bed." "Fart, I'm very strong." "Ha ha ha. Which country is closest to us?" Bryce the bear looked at the navigator and asked. The navigator replied, "It's the kingdom of Castor, about 300 kilometers away from us, and we'll be there soon." Bryce immediately ordered, "Little ones, move at full speed towards the kingdom of Castor." After the command was conveyed, the speed of the 3 pirate ships suddenly increased. At this moment, the co-captain walked up to Bryce and said, "Captain, I heard that the strength of the kingdom of Castor is very strong. In the past 6 months, pirate groups attempting to plunder the kingdom of Castor have been sunk at sea. Should we be careful?" Bryce looked disdainful and said, "No need, it's just a small country. No matter how strong it is, how strong can it be? I'm Bryce, the fierce bear. The man who wants to become the One Piece king in the future is not comparable to those pirate scumbags. Besides, the stronger its strength, the better, so that after Lousy plundered it, its reputation would be even more prominent. Just use this battle to completely break the reputation of my bear Bryce in the new world." Yahaha. Bryce the bear poured a bottle of liquor and grinned wildly. Bryce never noticed it from beginning to end, as they had been under surveillance since the Berserker pirates entered this sea area. 3 seagulls were suspended in the sky, emitting a strange electronic red light in their eyes, transmitting the image they saw back. At this moment, a rapid sound of breaking the wind suddenly came from afar. 72 shells were seen piercing through the sky with lightning speed, attacking the group of fierce bear pirates. These 70.2 shells are not spherical shells, but long rocket-shaped shells with flame wings at the tail, leaving 70.2 long smoke tracks in mid-air. Be careful. The bear Bryce was the first to detect the incoming shell, and as soon as he realized the danger, he issued a roar warning, but it was still too late. Before Bryce could respond, 72 rockets had accurately hit 3 pirate ships, and 1 pirate ship was attacked by 24 rockets simultaneously. Boom! 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 Accompanied by a series of deafening explosions, 3 pirate ships were engulfed by huge fireballs. The ship was torn apart, and at the moment when each pirate was killed by the shockwave, they were strangled by shrapnel and then engulfed by flames. Thousands of pirates were already shattered to pieces without knowing what had happened, with no bones left. The strongest bear among them, Bryce, is also the same. His tall body, hard as iron muscles, is now as fragile as tofu, unable to withstand the tremendous power of rocket explosions, and was killed in an instant. This arrogant pirate who had been fantasizing about becoming famous and becoming the pirate king 1 second ago, will be buried in the sea the next second and become food for fish and shrimp. Who was the person who killed him from beginning to end? What weapon was used? I don't even know where it was launched from. At this point, the entire Bears pirate squad has been destroyed. The cruelty of the New World was revealed at this moment, truly a huge graveyard for pirates. About 300 kilometers away from this place, there is an island, and on the island stands the kingdom of Castor. Just now, the 72 rockets that completely destroyed the bear pirates were launched from the kingdom of Castor. Even if separated by nearly 300 kilometers, it still accurately hits, indicating how high the accuracy of the strike is. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Mechanical Fruit, Super Weapon System, Seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. See wolf, I am the male lion. Confirm that the target has been eliminated. Repeat, confirm that the target has been eliminated, and the threat is lifted. In the eastern port fortress of the Kingdom of Castor, there are nearly 20,000 elite soldiers performing their respective duties, maintaining the normal operation of this war fortress. At this moment, in a huge room, a soldier is looking at the huge screen ahead, playing a striking scene of the Bear's pirates being hit and destroyed by rockets. Seeing the target being eliminated, the soldier immediately passed on the intelligence to his colleagues who launched the attack. Seawolf received. Please continue to monitor the movement of the sea area. If any threats are found, report them immediately. Yes, the Lion has received it. The call ended, and the soldier with the code name Lion looked at the burning wreckage of the pirate ship on the screen, with a hint of disdainful sneer on his lips. Humph, it's just a group of garbage pirates who dare to invade the great waters of the Kingdom of Castor. It's really beyond their measure. The soldier next to him smiled and agreed, these newcomers have just entered the new world, and they all feel that they are very powerful and remarkable. They think they can destroy the world and dominate. Little did they know that they were just a group of rookies who didn't know the vastness of the world. The waters of the Kingdom of Castor were not open to all kinds of cats and dogs. This is all thanks to His Majesty the King, and it is precisely because of His Majesty the King that our Kingdom of Castor has the current strength. I will never allow anyone to threaten His Majesty the King or the Kingdom of Castor. That's right, any enemy who dares to invade the Kingdom of Castor must be completely wiped out. When mentioning His Majesty the King, all the soldiers showed a respectful expression, showing genuine respect for the king. The news was reported layer by layer and quickly spread to the palace, reaching the ears of the current king of the Kingdom of Castor. Castor capital, within the palace. A young man sat on the balcony, with an ancient-style gramophone playing a symphony, and high-pitched voices echoing one after another. The sunshine shines on the youth, paired with an elegant temperament, highlighting their extraordinary qualities. This young man is the current king of the Kingdom of Castor, Reynold Parrot. Okay, you did a good job this time. Thank you for your hard work. Soldiers who have made contributions should be rewarded, and don't forget their contributions. Reynolds said to the phone worm with a smile on his face. Your Majesty has emphasized that fighting for the country is the duty and honor of all the people of the Kingdom of Castor. Exciting sounds came from across the phone worm. Keep working hard and don't slack off. Yes, in accordance with His Majesty the King's teachings. The call ended, and Reynolds put down the phone bug, his eyes fixed on the vast ocean in the distance, and a hint of a sinister sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. The Kingdom of Castor today is not the small country it used to be. These pirate scum still can't learn well and come all the way to die. Why bother? Reynolds shook his head slightly and let out a light sigh. Looking at the distant sea, Reynolds had deep eyes and his thoughts began to drift. In fact, he is not a person from this world, but a traveler who has traveled through the Blue Star world. As is well known, the One Piece world is a world with very high military power. In this world, there are countless powerful beings, as well as various eerie and powerful demon fruits. Some top powerhouses can even turn the tide and destroy the heavens and earth. Here, an individual's strength can break through the sky, and the destruction of one country by one is not a legend, but a fact, and there are many people who can do it. The whole world is plagued by pirates, with over 99% of them being complete villains who commit all sorts of crimes, including burning, killing, looting, and so on. There are very few pirates like the protagonist group who go out to sea purely for adventure. Although there is a navy responsible for enforcing justice and chasing pirates. But ironically, the world Zhengfu and Tianlong people that the navy wants to protect are precisely the greatest evil in this world. In this environment, the lives of civilians can be imagined. Poverty, hunger, slavery, slaughter, and death have accompanied the lives of countless civilians. Fortunately, Reynolds obtained a good identity after crossing the country. He is the prince of the kingdom of Castor in the New World, and the only prince, the legitimate heir to the throne. As a prince of a country, Reynolds was deeply favored by the king's father from a young age. He wanted the wind to be the wind, the rain to be the rain, and had no worries about food and clothing. He himself is also very hardworking and has been exercising since childhood. With the innate monster physique and powerful talents, as well as the vast resources and guidance provided by the royal family and renowned teachers, Reynolds has developed a strong body of strength. Not only are physical and swordsmanship amazing, but the cultivation of armed and oral colors is also extremely high. Even in a new world full of strong players, Reynold's strength can still stand firm, comparable to the core cadres of the Fourth Emperor pirates. 2 years ago, Reynolds personally killed a powerful pirate with a bounty of over 800 million Bailey, and with his own strength, he killed all members of that pirate group. The comprehensive strength of the kingdom of Castor was not originally strong in the New World, but it was under the leadership of Reynolds that the country's strength became even stronger. A year ago, after the death of the previous king and the accession of Reynolds to the throne, the strength of the kingdom of Castor began to rapidly increase. Just because 1 year ago, on the day Reynolds became king, he finally opened his golden finger. The system he had been longing for 22 years finally arrived. Reynold has obtained the super weapon system. There is a system store within the system, which contains countless powerful technological weapons that can be purchased with money. Not only that, the beginner gift package also gave Reynolds a Superman mechanical fruit. After eating the mechanical fruit, Reynolds gained the ability to manipulate any metal and turn it into a weapon. In addition, Reynolds also possesses the ability of mechanical affinity and omnipotence analysis. Any weapon, as long as touched by Reynolds, he can know its operating principle and manufacturing method. Not only that, if Reynolds' knowledge reserve is sufficiently comprehensive, he can also improve his weapons to make them more powerful. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. King of Arms, Reynolds. Seeking collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As a human being, Reynolds was well aware of the enormous potential of mechanical fruits. Although a person's strength can surpass the sky in the world of One Piece, they are ultimately human. As long as it is a person, no matter how strong, there are limits. But technology has no limits. After obtaining the system and mechanical fruits, Reynolds immediately decided to develop the kingdom of Castor into the world's strongest military kingdom. Selling weapons is the most profitable business in the world, which can earn Reynolds countless dollars. The money earned can purchase powerful technological weapons from the system store, quickly climb the technology tree, enhance the strength of the kingdom, and ultimately form a virtuous cycle. Terminator, drone swarm, satellite, aerospace carrier, intercontinental missile, electromagnetic gun, laser gun, nuclear bomb, space-based weapon, water droplet, 2-way foil. Let's forget about the 2-way foil. Its power is too terrifying to contemplate for the time being. But nuclear bombs must be mastered, and it's not very difficult to rub them with your hands. As long as he masters intercontinental nuclear missiles and uses satellite monitoring to accurately locate the world, Reynolds can hit whoever he wants and kill whoever he wants. Sitting at home and moving your fingers can destroy a country. No matter how strong the so-called naval general is, if he launches a 100 million ton equivalent nuclear bomb, he will still vaporize. What is natural or not? It's all nonsense in front of a nuclear bomb. After a year of development, Reynolds has built 3 large arms factories within the kingdom. One produces various types of rifles, landmines, hand grenades, sniper guns, and bulletproof vests. One produces the fire god Gatling, light and heavy machine guns, shoulder-mounted rocket launchers, and one produces rocket artillery. Rocket artillery is temporarily not for sale to the public, but other weapons have already been sold worldwide. Roughly estimated, it can bring approximately 30 billion baileys of profit to Reynolds annually. In addition, there is also a bionic machine factory and a radar factory. The former specializes in manufacturing biomimetic robots, such as mechanical dogs, mechanical snakes, mechanical seagulls, and mechanical sharks, while the latter manufactures radar. Mechanical animals are distributed in various corners of the Kingdom of Castor, as well as in the sky and water, monitoring an area of 500 kilometers around the Kingdom of Castor from all angles. There are also some secret intelligence that has been scattered all over the world, constantly bringing back to Reynolds from all over the world. Radar, on the other hand, provides precise positioning and, in conjunction with mechanical animals, can launch rockets in a timely manner to eliminate threats. The reason why the Berserker pirates were easily eliminated is because of this. After a year of development, the weapons produced by the Kingdom of Castor have gained fame in the underground world. Pirates, bounty hunters, and war nations from all over the world purchase Reynolds weapons. Especially the latter is a major customer of Reynolds. In the world of One Piece, there is never a shortage of war. As long as war does not stop, Reynolds weapons will not worry about selling. Money will flow continuously into his pocket. Reynold also unknowingly became a king of the underground world, codenamed the King of Arms. But currently it is far from enough, far from Reynolds' ambition. Just then, a knock on the door interrupted Reynolds' thoughts. "Is your Majesty the King present?" "Come on in." Reynolds whispered a sentence. The door to the room was opened, and a tall and beautiful woman wearing shorts with long legs walked in. "Your Majesty, the final payment of the latest quarter's orders has been deposited into the vault. Here is the list. Do you want to check it?" "No need, Robin. I can rest assured of your work." Reynold looked at the beautiful woman and smiled. This beautiful woman is none other than Nicole Robin, the son of a demon who is wanted by the world government. 3 years ago, when Reynolds was going out to the amusement park, he ran into Robin on the way and happened to save her once. With Reynolds' power, he can naturally protect Robin's safety, and at the same time, he also knows Robin's abilities, which are very helpful to himself. Although Robin's strength is not strong, her communication skills, and work abilities are all very strong. Whether assisting Reynolds in handling national affairs or handling arms sales, she did a great job. Reynolds looked at Robin and began assigning tasks. Recently, there has been an armed coup within the Kingdom of Crendia, and their demand for weapons will definitely increase significantly. They are our potential customers. You can immediately send someone to contact them, and I believe the King of the Kingdom of Crendia will be willing to pay. I understand, send someone to do it immediately. Robin nodded slightly. Of course, weapons cannot be sold to just one side, and even the rebel forces involved in political changes need to send people to contact them. Reynolds continued. Robin chuckled and said, "Your Majesty, it's a bit unethical for you to do business like this." Reynolds said indifferently, "They pay, I sell weapons, fair trade, it's only natural. Where is it immoral?" Robin shook his head and sighed. If the King of the Kingdom of Crendia knew the truth, he would probably grit his teeth in anger. Reynolds sneered, "No matter how angry he gets, he still has to pay. Without my large-scale supply of weapons, how could he secure his throne? As for his mentality, I don't care." Robin shrugged his shoulders and said, "You are the king. You have the final say. Also, the original transaction orders between the Kingdom of Will and the Kingdom of Millikan will continue to be followed up by personnel." Reynolds said, "The war between these two countries has been going on for 4 years and won't stop for a while." Understood. Afterwards, Reynolds issued a series of instructions, and Robin took them all down one by one. Having her by his side really saved Reynolds a lot of effort. "All right, that's all. Reynolds waved his hand to signal Robin to step back. At this moment, Robin spoke up and said, "Your Majesty, a guest has contacted us through the underground world and said they have a large order they want to discuss with us." Large order. Reynold looked at Robin with great interest and chuckled, "There are many." Robin responded, "It's said to be over 20 billion Bailey, and if we cooperate well, we will increase funding in the future. Those who can allocate 20 billion yuan in funds at once cannot be ordinary people." Reynolds smiled and asked, "Who is he?" Robin said word by word, "People of the Revolutionary Army." "That's not surprising." Reynolds showed a clear expression. "P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. The Devil Terminator made of Edelman alloy. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. As the #1 enemy of the World Legion, the existence of the Revolutionary Army is more feared by the World Legion than that of the Fourth Emperor pirates. The power and financial resources of the Revolutionary Army are no weaker than those of the Fourth Emperor pirates. Moreover, the Revolutionary Army has a greater demand for weapons and ammunition due to launching armed coups around the world. When will they come? 3 days later, he said he wanted to meet His Majesty the King in person. Want to see me? Reynolds shook his head slightly and said, "Just 20 billion Bailey wants to see me, maybe it's not enough." Robin said, "They want to establish a long-term partnership with us, so they want to see the famous King of Arms in the underground world with their own eyes. If we reach an agreement, the Revolutionary Army will continue to cooperate with us in the future." After a moment of contemplation, Reynolds nodded and said, "Reply to them and say I agree to meet." "Okay, I understand." Robin nodded, walked slowly away, and closed the door of the room again. Reynolds turned his head and looked into the distance, his eyes deep. The Revolutionary Army needs a large number of weapons, and Reynolds mass-produced weapons. If it can be negotiated, the Revolutionary Army will be his biggest customer. If it were to say which force in the world has the greatest demand for weapons, there is no doubt that the Navy ranks first, and then it will be the Revolutionary Army. In order to win this big client, it's not impossible for Reynolds to meet with the people of the Revolutionary Army. Standing up from the balcony, Reynolds walked into the room and a metal wall automatically opened, revealing the elevator passage inside. After taking the elevator, Reynolds quickly descended and arrived underground in the palace. Everything seen along the way is made of metal. The elevator has no entrance and is usually fully enclosed. Reynolds uses mechanical fruit to manipulate metal to open it. After eating the mechanical fruit, Reynolds had already transformed the entire palace. Nowadays, the entire palace is constructed of various metals, and with just one thought from Reynolds, the palace can be dismantled and combined into any weapon he needs. Opening a metal door, Reynolds arrived at the underground vault of the palace. The vault has only one entrance, and the only key is in Robin's hand, making it convenient for her to deposit money into the vault. But Reynolds does not need a key to enter the vault. The wall will automatically open upon entry and close upon departure. After entering the vault, Reynolds saw piles of gold stacked on the ground and boxes of cash banknotes. When there is not enough cash and paper currency for arms trading, Reynolds also supports the use of hard currency for gold trading. System, scan how much money is here. Reynolds said in his heart. A golden light scanned the vault and the system quickly came to a conclusion. Returning to the host, there is a total of 15.8 billion Baileys of gold and cash in the treasury. Open the system store. As the words fell, a virtual screen appeared in front of Reynolds out of thin air. In addition to various weapons, there are also some skills that can be purchased with money in the system store, such as tricolor dominance. Seeing and hearing the dominance of color. Awakening 100 million, beginner 200 million, intermediate 500 million, advanced 1 billion, foreseeing the future 2 billion. Armed color dominance. Awakened 100 million, junior 200 million, intermediate 500 million, advanced 1 billion, internal destruction 2 billion. Overlord color dominance. Awakened 200 million, beginner 400 million, intermediate 1 billion, advanced 2 billion, and overlord color entanglement 4 billion. Dominance is a standard feature for strong players, with the same price for both visible and armed colors, but the domineering color is twice as expensive as the other two color domineering colors. In addition to the three-color domineering aura, there are also demonic fruits, awakening ability, naval 6 moves, great swordsmanship, and so on. Reynold's original strength is not weak, his swordsmanship has reached the level of a great swordsman, and his aura of seeing, hearing, and armed colors has also reached an advanced level. Afterwards, through the system, I learned to foresee the future through seeing, hearing, and color, and learned to arm the internal destruction of color dominance. Including the devil fruit ability, Reynolds' overall combat power is no weaker than that of a naval general. Although there is no dominant color, it is not of much use to Reynolds for the time being. What truly works for the domineering color and aura is to learn how to wrap it around. Before that, the dominant color could only be used to clean up minions. Cleaning up the minions with Reynolds' ability is very simple, there is no need to waste money to buy the domineering color. The money Reynolds earns now is used to purchase weapons. Technology has no limits. Wait until there is extra funds in the future to evolve the dominance of the king color. Reynolds swiped his fingers across the virtual screen and quickly found what he wanted. The Terminator has all knowledge and theory, priced at 10 billion Bailey. Edelman alloy, priced at 5 billion Belly per ton. System, purchase all knowledge and theories of Terminator, plus 1 ton of Edelman alloy. Ding, deducting 15 billion Belly, weapon purchase successful, distribution in progress, distribution completed. A golden light flashed through the treasure trove, and all the cash and banknotes disappeared. Almost all the gold also disappeared, leaving only the last bit. In the blink of an eye, there were only 8 billion left after 15.8 billion. At the same time, a massive amount of information appeared in Reynolds' mind, all about the theory, manufacturing, and usage methods of the Terminator. After digesting this knowledge, Reynolds has already mastered the technology of mass-production Terminators. Not only T-800, but also T-1000 and TX made of liquid metal. As long as the raw materials are sufficient, Reynolds can produce the Terminator without restrictions, forming his strongest army. At the same time, a pile of metal appeared in front of Reynolds in the sea, which was exactly Edelman alloy. Edelman alloy is a very powerful metal that, after smelting and cooling, shows no signs of melting even at high temperatures of 500,000 degrees Celsius. It is incredibly hard, almost indestructible, and can withstand nuclear strikes head-on. 5 billion Belly can only buy 1 ton, it's really quite expensive. Reynolds secretly rose in his heart, and then extended his hand to the Edelman alloy in front of him. With a thought, a blue light emanated from the palm, and the mechanical fruit ability was activated. I saw the Edelman alloy suddenly deform, flowing like a liquid, and then gradually transforming into a human shape. Soon, a demon Terminator appeared in front of Reynolds. He is over 5 meters tall, with thick and robust limbs, and an incredibly burly figure. His body is covered in sharp spikes, and he wears a ghost face mask on his face. It looks like a monster wearing ferocious armor all over, emitting a strong sense of oppression. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Creating the Terminator Army, Seeking Collection, Seeking. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The Terminator of the Devil carries a long sword on his back, also made of Edelman alloy, which is incredibly sharp. With the hardness of Edelman alloy, there is no knife in this world that can match it, even the supreme sharp knife cannot. Ding! The Terminator of the Devil emitted a red light in his eyes and spoke, "Master, please give instructions." Reynolds has turned Edelman alloy into a Devil Terminator based on the knowledge in his mind. Built-in intelligent chips, all systems are complete. Not only that, Reynolds also added flight functions, shock absorption functions, and some other weapon systems, and instilled a lot of combat skills, making it stronger. The original Terminator, whether T-800, T-1000, or TX, did not have much weapon attack capability. The T-800 is just a robot, and remote attacks can only use external guns and cannons. As a liquid metal robot, the T-1000 is not afraid of physical attacks and can change its form freely. However, it can only transform into cold weapons such as swords, and external guns are still used for long-range attacks. The TX combines the advantages of the T-800 and T-1000, and although the weapon has evolved to use a built-in plasma cannon, its power is not strong. Reynolds directly improved the plasma cannon to make it more powerful, and also equipped it with small laser cannon technology, which is as powerful as the General Yellow's flash grenade. Defensive with invincible Edelman alloy, it is difficult to damage with knives and swords, impervious to water and fire, and not afraid of nuclear bombs. Even if standing and letting the general attack casually, it cannot be harmed at all. There are laser cannons and plasma cannons with long-range attack capabilities, comparable to the great General Yellow Ape. The close combat power is boundless, and there is also an incredibly sharp sword made of Edelman alloy, which can be said to be a human shield against killing and a divine shield against killing gods. In addition, with its flying ability, it can come and go freely, and the built-in hydrogen battery energy source continuously supplies energy, making it infinite in range. This Devil Terminator is simply an ultimate killing weapon that cannot be killed, smashed, and never exhausted, with strength no less than that of a naval general. The only drawback is that the Terminator of the Devil cannot use its dominance and cannot attack those with natural abilities. And because it is made of metal, people are afraid of magnetic abilities. Based on this, a pirate who has not yet made a name for himself has been listed on Reynolds' must-kill list. Starting from today, you are called Long E. Reynolds looked at the Terminator of the Devil and said, "Yes, Master, the code recording is complete." The eyes of the Terminator of the Devil emit a red light. "Follow me." Reynolds walked towards the metal wall, which automatically opened, revealing the elevator passage behind him. The dragon closely followed behind. Through the elevator passage, Reynolds took Dragon 1 to another huge underground space, which was Reynolds' metal storage facility. The metal reserve warehouse is directly connected to several mines in the kingdom, and all refined pure metals are transported here through underground tunnels, which are then transported and organized by logistics robots. These logistics robots cannot be compared to the Terminator, they can only do some simple handling work, which is very rigid. The metal reserve is stacked with various metals, and there is also a small pool in the corner that contains liquid metal. Over the past year, Reynolds has not only been selling weapons, but he has also been continuously mining and successfully developing liquid metals himself. Reynolds named it flowing silver metal. However, the production of silver metal is difficult and the raw materials are scarce, making it temporarily impossible to mass produce. But this is only limited to the present. In the future, as Reynolds' power continues to expand, he will have more and more resources in his hands, and silver metal will naturally achieve mass production. With a thought, Reynolds had already activated the mechanical fruit ability, and various metals in the underground space began to quickly combine. A series of tools such as high-temperature furnaces, robotic arms, conveyor belts, and precision machine tools are all automatically formed. In just 10 minutes, this metal reserve has become a Terminator manufacturing factory. After the factory is completed, there is still a lot of extra metal. Reynolds manipulated these metals and manufactured them into one Terminator after another. Liquid silver metal, manufactured by Reynolds into TX and T1000 types. After the silver metal runs out, all T800 models will be manufactured. By the time all the metal reserves were used up, Reynolds had already produced tens of thousands of T800 Terminators. As for the TX and T1000 models, a total of 100 units are added together. All of these Terminators are equipped with flight capabilities, especially the TX type. The power of the plasma cannon has been enhanced by Reynolds, and its combat power far exceeds that of the original Terminator. The mine is still continuously delivering newly refined metals, but there is no need for Reynolds to personally manufacture them in the future. The factory will automatically make the delivered metals into Terminators. At this point, Reynolds has 4 models of Terminators in his hands. The strongest Devil Terminator made of the strongest Edelman alloy. Next are the TX, T1000, and T800 models. As time passes, the Terminator army under Reynolds will continue to grow stronger. The Terminator army has taken shape, and the kingdom of Castor can also begin to expand. In the past year, Reynolds only sold weapons and accumulated strength, without launching wars or expanding territory. But now, he has sufficient weapons in his hands, as well as a large army of killing machine Terminators, and his strength is already sufficient. The quickest way to accelerate technological progress, manufacture more powerful weapons, initiate wars, and plunder the resources of other countries is to be noted. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Fleet sets sail and the operation to extinguish the nation begins, seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Use this battle to verify the actual combat capability of the Terminator army. Reynolds' mind twitched as the metal ceiling above his head made a clicking sound, and then the ceiling continued to crack, creating a metal passage that led straight to the sky. A layer of metal armor appeared on Reynolds' body, instantly enveloping his entire body, even covering his eyes, and his whole body was impenetrable from top to bottom. This armor is modeled after Iron Man's armor by Reynolds, and the entire body is also made of Edelman alloy. Although Reynolds does not have artificial intelligence assistance, he has the ability to manipulate armor with mechanical fruit, which is faster and more flexible than artificial intelligence. Although war armor does not have a detection function, Reynold himself has a strong sense of aura, and his detection ability is still powerful. With Edelman alloy armor, Reynolds' defense is invincible. He dares to proudly say that even Kaido and Big Mom cannot match his defensive strength. At least Kaido and Big Mom cannot withstand the ultra-high temperature of 500,000 degrees Celsius, let alone withstand a nuclear explosion. Let's go. Reynolds' feet erupted with blue flames, his whole body soaring into the sky, swiftly passing through the metal passage and flying over the palace. Dragon 1 followed closely behind, suspended beside Reynolds. Subsequently, all 1,000 T-800 Terminators flew over the palace. To deal with a mere kingdom of Tanya, it is not necessary to deploy all 10,000 Terminators, just 1,000 would be more than enough. 1,000 Terminators formed a formation in the sky and flew to the weapons factory. The weapons factory has received orders from Reynolds to distribute the corresponding weapons to each Terminator. The dense figures appeared over the palace, naturally attracting the attention of the people of the capital and causing a lot of discussion. Look, what's over the palace? There are so many people. It's an army, it must be His Majesty's army. This army can actually fly, it's so powerful. That's for sure. His Majesty the King's wisdom is not comparable to those of us. His Majesty the King is the world's most intelligent person. Long live your Majesty the King. Long live your Majesty the King. The people cheered and shouted, and the entire capital was bustling with excitement. The public opinion is available, and Reynolds is naturally happy. As a king, he has never forgotten his responsibility, which is to bring prosperity and happiness to his people. The First Legion listens, the First Legion listens. Reynolds' armor comes with communication capabilities, allowing signals to connect to any telephone worm in the Kingdom of Castor. Don't ask why you didn't make a phone, just don't want to make it. It's His Majesty the King. Julius, the commander of the First Army stationed at the Eastern Fortress, received a call from Reynolds and responded immediately. I am Julius, the commander of the First Army Corps, and I am at the command of His Majesty the King. In a huge room of the fortress, a tall man holding a telephone worm looked extremely respectful. Behind Julius, there were commanders at all levels of the First Legion. At this moment, all the commanders stood up straight, with a solemn expression, waiting for Reynolds to give orders. Reynolds' prestige in the Kingdom of Castor is extremely high, and all soldiers are willing to sacrifice their lives for Reynolds. Send my command, the first fleet of the First Legion will immediately set sail for the Kingdom of Tanya. Yes, I will comply. Without asking whether to initiate a war or tactical decisions, Julius had only absolute obedience. The call ended, and an emergency assembly command immediately sounded inside the fortress. Teams of soldiers armed with weapons, ready to go, rushed to the warship at the fastest speed to gather. 5 steel warships, each with 2,000 people, totaling 10,000 people. The total strength of the Eastern Fortress is 20,000 people, divided into the first, second, and second fleets. This time, a total of 10,000 troops will be deployed directly. The warships manufactured by Reynolds are not made of wood, and their entire body is made of steel. Not only is the defense strong, but the navigation speed is also extremely fast, equipped with heavy weapons such as rocket launchers, the God of Fire Gatling, and small laser cannons. Not only that, every soldier in the Kingdom of Castor uses a uniform rifle, grenade, and wears bulletproof vests. Not to mention the senior leadership. If it were just ordinary soldiers, the combat power of the soldiers of the Kingdom of Castor would definitely far exceed that of the Navy. At this moment, Reynolds received a call request from Robin. After connecting, Robin's voice came from across, Your Majesty, may I ask what you want to do? There shouldn't be an enemy coming over from such a big commotion, right? Robin was very worried, afraid that the Navy or the Fourth Emperor might come and attack. After all, she had been with Reynolds for 3 years and had never seen such a big battle with him before. Renold smiled and said, Don't worry, it's just a training session. I'll be back soon. Then I can rest assured. Robin breathed a sigh of relief. Quickly, the Terminator army had received all their weapons, carrying an oversized Vulcan Gatling with bullet chains attached to the ammunition box behind them. Each Terminator carries 10,000 bullets with them, enough for them to shoot wildly. Ordinary humans cannot carry such a heavy object, but it is easy for the Terminator. Let's go. With a command from Reynolds, he flew out first, followed closely by 1,000 Terminator armies around the dragon. Whoosh! 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 A series of rapid braking winds echoed in the sky, leaving behind smoke tracks in the air. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Add update rules. 500V charging, +1 change 500 flowers, +1 watch 100 evaluation votes, +1 change 3 tips, regardless of the amount, +1 change. The author hereby promises that as long as the readers give awesome, the renewal tube will be sufficient. Dear readers, Please use flowers to collect and smash the author to death. If you have the ability, please make me code 24 hours a day without rest. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. The Terrifying Strength of the Terminator Army, Bloody. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The 1st Legion fleet, sailing on the sea, also discovered the Terminator army flying through the sky. His Majesty the King is truly like a deity, even conquering the sky. Julius stood at the bow of the warship, admiring the army flying overhead. Yeah, for so many years, only the great pirate Golden Lion from decades ago has been able to conquer the sky. Now His Majesty the King has also successfully conquered the sky. If the old king knew that the current kingdom of Castor was so powerful, he would definitely be pleased. A general's eyes unconsciously shed tears. Send my command, the warship is advancing at full speed. At this moment, Julius issued an order, and the warship soared to the fastest speed in the shortest possible time, heading towards the kingdom of Tanya. This time His Majesty the King personally dispatched, coupled with an unprecedented flying army, Julius had a premonition that the war would end soon. If they go too late, they may not even be able to drink soup. At high altitude, Reynolds led the Terminator army in a rapid flight, reaching twice the speed of sound. This is not the limit speed of Reynolds and Ryunoshi. The materials on their bodies are made of Edelman alloy, and their speed can soar to over 30 times the speed of sound. But ordinary T-800 Terminators can only fly up to twice the speed of sound due to material limitations. The kingdom of Tanya is 800 kilometers away from the kingdom of Castor and can be reached at twice the speed of sound in just 20 minutes. 20 minutes flashed by, and Reynold, with the Terminator army, had arrived over the kingdom of Tanya. Go ahead, let me see your strength. Under the command of Reynolds, the army of 1,000 Terminators immediately dispersed and entered the kingdom of Tanya from 4 directions. The killing targets set by Reynolds for them were the army of the kingdom of Tanya, not including civilians. If there were no accidents, the Terminator would not kill civilians. But if civilians actively attack the Terminator will also retaliate. The Terminator has high intelligence and the ability to continuously learn, and can fight in various complex environments. Terminators entered the military camp of the Kingdom of Tanya one by one, scanning and confirming enemy targets. At the same time, the fire god Gatling in his hand began to spin wildly and spray flames. Bullets flew through the bodies of soldiers one by one, walls were pierced, ammunition depots were shot, and many soldiers died without even emitting screams. It's an intruder, fight back, fight back. The commander in the military camp shouted loudly, but his voice was quickly captured by a Terminator. Then the bullets swept by, and the commander was instantly turned into flesh and mud. The soldiers of the Kingdom of Tanya fired back, but they only used ordinary flint guns with limited power, which were ineffective against the Terminator. If soldiers bomb with cannons, they will be evaded by the Terminator. In just a few minutes, all the soldiers in a military camp were annihilated. 1,000 Terminators are crazily slaughtering in the Kingdom of Tanya, and the soldiers of the Kingdom of Tanya are constantly being eliminated. The battle had just begun, and the army of the Kingdom of Tanya had already collapsed. A whole 100,000 guards are like 100,000 lambs waiting to be slaughtered, pitifully weak. The news of the invasion of the country quickly reached the ears of the King of Tanya, who wanted to gather his civil and military officials to discuss welcoming the enemy, but unfortunately it was too late. Reynold, with Dragon 1, has already entered the palace. It's the invaders, kill them. Protect your Majesty the King. Damn intruder, go to hell. The palace guards discovered the traces of Reynolds and Long E and roared angrily as they attacked them. Shoo! A laser shot out of Long Yi's palm and instantly hit the rushing guards. With a loud bang, the laser exploded into a huge fireball with a diameter of over 20 meters, engulfing dozens of soldiers. The terrifying shock wave even blew hundreds of people away. Exciting. Laser cannon, this is impossible. The soldier saw Long Yi firing a laser cannon and was so frightened that he sat on the ground with a pale face and a cold sweat rising. Even those who don't understand science know how terrifying the power of laser cannons can be. In the palace of the Kingdom of Tanya, there were only 2,000 guards, and the dragons attacked one by one, directly destroying a quarter of the enemy's forces. However, such a laser cannon cannot satisfy Reynolds yet. This is just the power of a small laser cannon, barely comparable to the shining bullets of the great general, the Yellow Ape. What Reynolds really wants is a super laser cannon that can destroy a large island in one launch. That level of laser cannon is not only powerful and terrifying, but also has an incredibly long range. It can directly attack from outside the sky to the ground and is one of the attack methods of space-based weapons. However, the price of super laser cannon technology is too expensive for Reynolds to afford at the moment, so he can only buy a small one for transitional use. Quick! Run, we can't be opponents of this monster. I don't want to die, my wife and children are still waiting for me at home. Run quickly. The soldiers of the guard army were extremely panicked, with cries constantly ringing out. More than 1,000 guards scattered and fled. Reynolds did not attack, and Dragon 1 did not attack. These people are ordinary soldiers, killing too much is meaningless. Reynolds is not a killer who only knows about crazy killing. Let's go to the palace and meet the King of Tanya. Reynolds entered the palace with the dragon. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. In Chapter 8, just for the sake of military training, we destroyed one. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, the King of Tanya, under the protection of several guards, wanted to escape from the side door of the palace. Behind the king were his wives, concubines, princes, and princesses, all carrying a large amount of gold, silver, and jewelry. Suddenly, a concubine stumbled and fell to the ground, leaving her jewelry scattered on the ground. Ignoring the pain, she quickly went to pick it up. The king was so anxious that he jumped and said, "Damn fool, it's important to escape now. What more gold, silver, and jewelry do you need?" After speaking, he ran away on his own before the concubine could get up. However, the king collided head-on with a wall, directly shattering his nose and teeth, resulting in a face full of blood. The king fell heavily to the ground and let out a scream of agony. I suddenly looked up and was about to curse, but all the subsequent dirty words got stuck in my throat and I couldn't make any sound. The wives, concubines, princes, and princesses behind the king also had a frightened expression on their faces at this moment, leaving them completely scared. Because the king did not hit a wall, but rather Dragon 1. Looking at the huge monster over 5 meters in front of him, the king was so frightened that his liver and gallbladder trembled, his legs trembled, his brain went blank, and he almost lost consciousness. "Where do you want to go?" "King Tanya." Reynolds chuckled lightly and said. You. Who the hell are you?" The King of Tanya was trembling with fear. Reynolds' mind twitched and the armored helmet automatically opened, revealing its true colors. "It's you, Reynolds." The King of Tanya widened his eyes. He never expected that the person invading the Kingdom of Tanya would be Reynolds. The Kingdom of Castor is adjacent to the Kingdom of Tanya, with many exchanges between the two countries and more than one outbreak of war in history. The King of Tanya naturally had a great understanding of Reynolds. "Reynolds, why did you invade my Kingdom of Tanya?" I didn't provoke you, did I? Although the king of Tanya was afraid in his heart, he still dared to ask questions. Reynolds smiled and said, "No, it's just a training session. I want to take this opportunity to see how strong my army is. I didn't expect that your army in the kingdom of Tanya was too weak to hold on for even half an hour, which really disappointed me." Reynolds shook his head helplessly. "Training. It's just training." The king of Tanya was shocked and incredulous in his heart, but his eyes quickly became fierce and terrifying. "Just for training, you invaded my kingdom of Tanya and killed so many people. If you do this, the navy won't let you go, and the world's government won't let you go either. Our kingdom of Tanya is a member country of the world's legitimate government, and your actions like this will never be allowed by the navy." The king of Tanya roared and vented his anger and unwillingness. "Father is right, Reynolds. You still have time to leave now, and we can avoid holding you accountable." At this moment, a weak voice sounded behind the king of Tanya. Reynolds looked up and found himself a young man of similar age. Renold knows him, he is the eldest son of the king of Tanya, and if nothing unexpected happens, he will become the 9th king of the kingdom of Tanya. "Do you really think I care about the attitude of the navy?" Reynolds shook his head with a hint of sarcasm. "Forget it, no matter how much I tell you, you won't understand. Placing the fate of the country and oneself in the hands of others is not only foolish, but also the greatest sorrow in the world. Long Yi, take them on their way." "Aye, master." The dragon nodded and rushed up. Accompanied by a few unwilling screams, the king of Tanya and his entourage were all killed. At this point, the bloodline of the Tanyan royal family has been completely cut off. On the other hand, the navy guarding the kingdom of Tanya has also discovered the invading Terminator army at this moment. "Major General Candace, what should we do?" At the entrance of the naval branch, 1,000 naval soldiers gathered here, and all the navies looked at a tall rear admiral at the forefront. Candace Evans, rear admiral of the Navy headquarters, was the highest commander of the naval branch of the kingdom of Tanya. Listening to the sound of gunfire and shouts of killing coming from all directions, and looking at the ordinary civilians fleeing in front of him, Major General Candace's heart was filled with raging anger, and a fierce light flashed in his eyes. It seems that someone has invaded the kingdom of Tanya. A team of people went to protect the people and take refuge, while the rest of us went to the palace with me to rescue the king. At the command of Major General Candace, the soldiers under his command immediately divided into 2 teams. A group of people scattered into the town to save people, while another group followed Candace to the palace. Soon, Candace met 2 Terminators holding the fire god Gatling. They did not kill civilians, but instead searched for fleeing guards on the streets. "Damn it, you dare to mess around in the kingdom of Tanya. I can't spare you." Major General Candace let out a roar and disappeared in place, appearing behind a Terminator in an instant. He slashed down in anger and cut off the Terminator's head on the spot. With a loud roar, the Terminator collapsed with a muffled sound. "What a hard body, is this guy's body made of iron?" "No, it's even harder than ordinary steel." Major General Candace's face changed. Although he chopped off the Terminator's head, the hardness sensation that came from that moment was not a joke at all. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Terminator self-destructs, small mushroom cloud rises. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, Major General Candace discovered the metal incision at the skull fracture. This guy is actually a robot. Major General Candace's pupils contracted, revealing a hint of shock. At this moment, another Terminator had already aimed its gun at him. Da. Gatlin's gun spouted flames, and countless bullets shot out, sweeping towards Candace like a rainstorm. Shave. Major General Candace immediately used the Navy's Type 6 shaver and disappeared into place in an instant. Then a flying slash broke through the air and cut off the Terminator. What exactly are these things? Major General Candace retracted his sword and looked solemnly at the corpses of the two Terminators under his feet, feeling a sense of foreboding in his heart. Even though he has seen many things, he has never seen such a robot soldier. Major General Candace. So impressive, it's all resolved. A flash kill, truly deserving of the title of Major General. His strength is indeed formidable. At this moment, soldiers rushed up from behind, speaking in admiration. But there was no joy on General Candace's face, and just then, a ticking sound suddenly sounded. Major General Candace's face immediately changed and he shouted loudly, "Everyone, retreat." His ears and aura told him that the sound came from inside the robot soldier's body. He instinctively guessed that it was the sound of the bomb starting. Major General Candace teleported several times in a row, unleashing his shaving skills to the extreme and fleeing frantically. His Navy soldiers also crawled and fled. But they eventually slowed down a step. In the frightened eyes of the soldiers, two robotic soldiers exploded violently and turned into two huge fireballs with a diameter of over 50 meters. Many soldiers were engulfed by fireballs and burned to ashes before they had a chance to escape. Terrifying explosion shockwaves followed one after another, causing the earth to sink and collapse, and all buildings to crumble and collapse. The remaining naval soldiers had no escape and were killed on the spot by the shockwave. Boom boom. Accompanied by deafening sounds, two huge mushroom clouds rose into the sky, completely destroying the entire street along with the adjacent two streets. The sea of fire was raging, and the loud noise spread throughout every corner of the capital. A large number of civilians looked up and saw the mushroom cloud rising from the sky, their eyes stunned on the spot. By the time everything had calmed down, the streets had completely disappeared, leaving only ruins. Suddenly, a huge stone was pushed away from the ruins, and Major General Candace struggled to climb up from the ruins with a disheveled face. His navy coat and jacket were burnt to pieces, his hair was burnt out, his face was covered in charcoal ash, and he was still coughing up blood. In the previous explosion, he escaped the fastest and farthest, and with the use of armed color and domineering defense, he barely managed to save his own life. Cough cough cough, damn bastard. Candace looked at the ruins in front of him and his disappeared subordinates, his rationality almost burned with anger, and his expression became extremely fierce. He didn't expect that with just one carelessness, his army of over 500 soldiers would be completely destroyed. The T-800 Terminator manufactured by Reynolds has two small hydrogen batteries inside its body. Hydrogen batteries are extremely unstable and can explode violently under certain attacks. Not only that, Reynolds also set up a program that will automatically detonate the hydrogen battery once the Terminator loses mobility. The Terminator self-destruct is its final attack, and it is also to prevent the Terminator from being captured alive, leading to the leakage of the production method. There are many smart scientists in this world, and if there are formed Terminators in hand, they can deduce in reverse and crack manufacturing methods. Ah la la, it's quite powerful. Suddenly, a voice rang out, and Reynolds and the dragon had already arrived above the ruins. The two of them sprayed blue flames under their feet and stood in the air. It turns out that Rear Admiral took action, no wonder he was able to destroy both of my Terminators. Reynolds immediately discovered Major General Candace in the ruins. Candace also noticed Reynolds' arrival and gritted his teeth in anger. "It's you brought these robot soldiers," he said. "Who the hell are you? Why are you doing this?" Candace roared angrily, with a murderous intent in his eyes as if he was about to devour Reynolds alive. "I have no reason to tell you the truth." Reynolds shook his head and spoke coldly. "Then I'll hit you." Candace suddenly drew his sword and unsheathed, invading the world's legitimate member states and killing so many naval soldiers, no matter who you are, the Navy will not let you go. Let's take it easy. Candace leaped forward and stepped on the void to kill Reynolds. This is the lunar step, one of the 6 types of the Navy, which can be used to soar through the air. Why seek your own way of death? Looking at the imposing Major General Candace, Reynolds shook his head gently. His only goal on this trip was the royal family and escort army of the Kingdom of Tanya, and he had no intention of taking action against the Navy. If Major General Candace had not meddled in his affairs, his subordinates would not have been in trouble. Dragon 1. Reynolds suspended in mid-air without dodging, and with a command, Dragon 1 had already shot out. The powerful jet thrust instantly made Long E appear in front of Candace, with a speed several times faster than shaving. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Quickly kill Rear Admiral. Seeking collection. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Iron Block. Seeing the Demon Terminator being killed, Candace's face showed a look of shock. Even when he released the 6-style iron block, his muscles were tense like steel. At the same time, using armed colors to form armor to protect the chest, but ultimately it was one step too late. Long E had already punched him in the chest, and the powerful shockwave instantly pierced through his chest. Major General Candace's iron blocks and armed colors had no effect on his domineering defense and were easily breached. With a loud bang, Major General Candace's body exploded and turned into blood and flesh splattering everywhere. He was directly knocked out by Dragon 1 fist. Long E has 64 hydrogen batteries inside his body, which can provide sufficient mobility, coupled with the jet propulsion engine and the strong hardness of Edelman alloy. The force of the punch was so terrifying that it was indescribable. Even if it's a big mountain, he will blow it up with one punch. Not to mention being just a Rear Admiral of the Navy, even an elite Rear Admiral of the Navy cannot stop Long Yi's fist. As time passed, the sound of gunfire in the capital gradually subsided, indicating that the War of Annihilation had come to an end. From the beginning to the end of the war, the process did not exceed an hour. Terminators, wielding the fire god Gatling, searched for the remaining guards in the royal capital one by one. The civilians hiding in the corner looked at them with fearful eyes, their bodies curled up and trembling with fear. Fortunately, the Terminator did not target civilians. Even if civilians pass by the Terminator is considered not to have seen it. 99% of the people who died in this War of Annihilation were soldiers of the Guard Army. Few civilians have died due to the unfortunate impact of the battle. The Palace of Tanya remains magnificent and magnificent. In the Palace Dragon, one laser cannon was fired, and the damage was minimal, so 99% of the palace remained unchanged. After the battle ended, Reynolds naturally began to plunder the spoils of war. The reason for choosing to attack the Kingdom of Tanya this time is not only because the two countries are adjacent and have a history of war and blood feuds. Another key reason is that the Kingdom of Tanya is very rich in mineral resources. Although there is no gold mine, the Kingdom of Tanya has a large reserve of iron and copper mines. Building an arms factory here can quickly expand Reynolds' arms production and earn even more money. Is that all the money left? In the palace vault, Reynolds looked at the gold and cash in front of him, feeling speechless. Because all the treasures in the treasure trove, combined, are only worth 7 billion belly, far less than his expectations. The Kingdom of Tanya is not an agricultural country, it is completely different from Dressrosa. Back in the day, King Laiku of Dressrosa was extorted 10 billion bailey by Domingo and could not be taken out. That's because Dressrosa is an agricultural country, the country is poor, and in addition, the Liku king cares for his people, with low taxes, so there is a shortage of money in the national treasury. But the Kingdom of Tanya is not an agricultural country. The industry here is very developed, and the commerce is also good. Moreover, the king of Tanya is not a good king who loves the people like a son, and taxes his people very high. It is reasonable to say that this extravagant, cruel, and greedy king should be very wealthy, but the final result exceeded Reynolds' expectations. He searched the entire palace and only found 7 billion bellies wealth. These royal families won't spend all the money they've plundered, will they? Reynold had long heard of the extravagance of the Tannian royal family, spending money like water on weekdays, all for pleasure. Now that I see the empty treasure trove, I realize that rumors are not unfounded. I hope to scrape more money from various nobles' hands. Reynolds shook his head, feeling a bit helpless in his heart. Just as Reynold was searching for the treasure trove of the palace, his Terminator soldiers were searching for the wealth of the nobles of the Kingdom of Tanya. As time passed and the sunset set, 5 warships appeared at the coastal ports of the Kingdom of Tanya, and Reynolds' fleet finally arrived. I hereby inform your majesty the king that Julius has led the first fleet to the Kingdom of Tanya. Please provide instructions. At the bow of the warship, Julius was holding a telephone worm and talking to Reynolds. Immediately lead the soldiers to take over the Kingdom of Tanya, and from today on, it will officially be incorporated into the territory of the Kingdom of Castor. Also, when taking over, do not slaughter civilians for no reason. Of course, if someone actively attacks you, there is no need to show mercy. The voice of Reynolds came from across from the phone worm. Yes, I will comply. Julius respectfully accepted the order, his expression uplifted. The officers and soldiers at all levels behind them also showed signs of excitement. Expanding territory is a symbol of a kingdom's strength, but unfortunately they did not personally participate in this war. Although Julius arrived at the fastest speed possible, it was still too late. The speed of a warship can never be compared to the speed of flying in the sky. Quickly, everyone dock and take over the Kingdom of Tanya. Julius ordered with a telephone worm, and the sound was amplified and transmitted to the ears of 10,000 soldiers on 5 warships. A large number of soldiers lined up to land in the Kingdom of Tanya, with a flag representing the Kingdom of Castor planted on this land. This kingdom, which had been established for over 150 years, officially declared a change of ownership. P.S. The new book is on its way, and it will be 10 o'clock on the first day. Friends who like it, please bookmark it. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking praise. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.